Let's go.
Old Trafford stands, our anthems roll.
Okay, let's go.
Boom, okay, let's go, people. It is the moment we've been waiting for. It is live. Premier League is kicking off, and we are playing Arsenal. Will it be Gyökeres versus Sesko? Sesko versus Gyökeres? We will find out. This is Mick Ruby covering you live press conference as Ruben Amorim is facing the press. Oh my God, that anthem gave me goosebumps knowing that, you know, we've been looking and covering this transfer window and 100% sure, believer it is. I got to believe it. I got to believe it. When I see his face holding up their shirt, then I'm a believer. You know what I mean? Anyway, we are here to cover everything that's going on regarding the transfer news and everything. But also we're going to listen to Ruben Amorim's press conference live from Carrington. This is the big one, people. This is Arsenal. This can't not be any bigger. I mean, who would anticipate it in the beginning of transfer window, the Gyökeres saga versus Sesko, and now vice versa. This, you know, they did a wife swap in a way. So Sesko versus Gyökeres, and it would be so ironic if Gyökeres actually scores and does this. You know what I mean. Anyway, I am super gassed. Thank you. And guys, welcome to MUFC Realist TV. Do not forget to do me one massive favor. Let's get up to minimum 100 likes, and like and subscribe if you're new to this channel. God, I'm a little bit super nervous. It's been a while since I was live and covering Ruben Amorim's, but this is going to be many Ruben Amorim's conferences, but it feels a little bit special, especially like when Ruben Amorim has been backed in the summer window. We got Cunha over the line, we got Mbeumo over the line, we got Patrick Dorgo firing up on all cylinders, we got even the young South American coming out, Diego Leon also showing prospects, and also Sesko was over the line, and now in hardcore negotiations of a Brighton 4. Belieber. Everyone is talking about Belieber, and there's so many reports floating around. I saw something just recently from Simon Stone, or I think it was even Laurie Whitwell as well, talking a little bit negative that we might do this kind of next year, but I'm saying no. Manchester United are going all in on Belieber. Guys, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Let me know in the chat. Make yourself known. I'm going to sort of shout you out, everyone that's tuning in. How do you feel? Big up John Edmond in the house saying big up Mick, big up to you. Smash that like button, please. Yes, it makes sense. Anyway, probably you guys want to talk about Belieber 100%. We are entering into the barbershop, and the way I'm calling it barbershop is Brighton. Paul Barber is the CEO of Brighton, and I did a video this morning about this. Ironically speaking, Manchester United is going in for a clean shave, simple as possible. It might be a record bid coming in because Ruben Amorim said, give me Belieber. I want Belieber. I'll Belieber all in. And that's what's been going on behind the scenes, as media has been 2 weeks behind, as I reported on this video, in terms of this deal. Now, Brighton, in a certain way, let me reiterate, let me repeat myself, the Brighton, in a way, they don't really have a price. The way Brighton operates is to say, okay, you can speak to our player and come back to us, and if the player wants to move, then we can discuss. And now we have hardcore negotiations, no other with our star negotiator, which is Matt Hargreave, which is chief operator, and Wilcox being part of this. Now, a lot of reports coming in to say, but you know what? I did a video about this morning. I said Manchester United most likely would put in a bid of 112 million to hit the sweet spot. You know, there might be a world record, but the reason per se is what they're doing there, because next season, there will not be a next season, because if Manchester United don't land Belieber this summer, that means that Brighton most likely will give him a pay increase and also a sort of a new contract, which might be that next year the price will be 130, and then you might see Arsenal, Liverpool, City, all those scumbags coming in and sort of take our Belieber away of us. So I don't believe so that we will leave it for the end of next year, kind of in next year's summer window. I think that we are going all in, and what we're seeing in the reports that Manchester United are in hardcore negotiations right now. This will be resolved within 2 weeks minimum, because that's where the transfer window shuts. But however, we're here gathered, the masses, to listen to Ruben Amorim, what the media is going to ask him, who's going to start. I've actually done my lineup, the strongest lineup that I have in mind, which I will display to you, but I want to hear from you as well. Who do you think will line up as well, guys? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know in the chat. Who do you think will be the strongest lineup, and who will be starting against Arsenal? Now, Arsenal's preseason has been a little bit of a mix of so-so performances, but Arsenal is Arsenal, and of course we are playing at Old Trafford, so the crowd will be our 13th player, meaning the crowd will be behind Ruben Amorim. Omar Barada came in, play for guts, play for the shirt, play for the camaraderie. We can do this, people. Anyway, so big up to all of you for tuning in. The press conference starts in about 10 minutes, live from Carrington training ground, the new facilities. How you doing? Talk to me. Get involved in the chat. What do you think at the end of the day? There's so much things going on at the moment, and this is kind of the crescendo. This is the end of the window of opportunities, where you see that Chelsea are still stalling over Garnacho deal, and there is hardcore haggling. They want to pay 35 million pounds, and Manchester United say no, we want minimum 55 million. So who will blink? At the end of the day, what I've been hearing is that they're arguing to the point to say, well, hang on, you sold Belieber, or you sold Madueke for 55 million, you sold us a broken number 7 Mason Mount that we can actually go for free. So we've done you a lot of favors, so please do not try to lowball us here, because we are willing to keep the player and just put him on the bench, play with the reserves. We don't really care. And this is kind of a stronghold. Manchester United, the new regime, is saying that we're not going to be taking to the cleaners anymore. We're not the old club. Take it or leave it. This is our price. And I think that this is brilliant what we are doing at the moment. Anthony Dos Santos as well being also told no loan to Real Betis. And Jadon Sancho, this will be the defining moments of Jadon Sancho finally outside Manchester United. As Roma and Manchester United are kind of talking, there has been bid floating in on 25 million. There is no such thing as a loan deal, because Jadon Sancho has 1 year left on his contract, and Manchester United will not kind of extend it. It might be a possibility that Roma pays a little bit of an upfront fee and remaining fee next season. But according to my credible source and my colleague down in Italy, Alfredo Pedula, says there is no such thing as a loan deal. Even but Fabrizio Romano was saying that is an option. But at the end of the day, Manchester United is a blank no to loan with an obligation to buy. It's either cash now and take it or leave it, guys. Anyway, big up to all of you, 25 watching, 6 likes, I think. I did a little bit poll to say, how many likes do you think we will gonna get today? So that is quite interesting. How many likes do you think we'll get if you smash it? So I mentioned 50, 100, 150, 200, and so far, 200 people says, well, the leading poll is 200, and it's impossible at the moment because we have 85 views turning in. I guess people are on the lunch breaks, but anyway, as we are the only channel that is kind of covering this live instead of doing the quotes, we are definitely gonna cover this live. So yeah. Anyway, so all good. I might even open up the floodlines later on for you to sort of speak to me, ask me any questions that you need to know, and also, express yourself. What would be your score prediction at the end of the day? I'm not going to jinx it right now. I think that it might be a narrow victory to Manchester United, but it kind of smells a little bit like a draw to me in the wind here. Kind of have that feeling. It's like nerves opening Premier League season. We're playing at Old Trafford. We have all these new signings. Although the spirit might be high, there's always that wind of caution not to lose this game, because, hey, we're scarred from last season that Old Trafford wasn't our fortress in terms of the winning ways. So all of you, thank you so much for tuning in, and massive big up for doing a lot of reporting on Twitter, on certain articles, freelancing. So little time did I have to actually make sort of live streams, more videos. So I really appreciate that you actually subscribe, because I've seen the subscribers gone up like with 50% since we started. So we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and all appreciation. So this content is all for you. This is for free, from a fan to a fan. If I get snippets of information, I tend to share it because I care about the club. And as per usual, 90% of these reporters, even these ones that are sitting in Ruben Amorim's press conference, are not even Manchester United supporters. So that's got to change, in my opinion, if we're going to do some of those press conferences. I want to hear more sort of fan, fan channels coming in and asking questions as well. We already seen the United Standard there, Flex is there as well. Beth is there asking questions as well from United Standard. These questions, according to my opinion, are football fans related question, talking about, we want to know what's going on with the club, what's going on with these players, what's going on with this. But the media at the moment are just looking for headlines, which is kind of annoying. So we will see what happens. We will see what happens. Hope you can hear me fine. I hate talking to myself too much, but in the meantime, I'm going to have a zip on my double espresso anyway. So speaking about transfers, I think that the next coming days will be very telling. Manchester United are preparing. When I say barbershop, Paul Barber, definitely it's going to be the Manchester United walks out with a clean shave. They might clean us for over 100 million. There might be our record signing, but it's so worth it if you look at the youngsters' prosperity. 21 years of age, you're offering 5-year contract. By the time that contract finishes, he'd be 25, 26. So plenty of resale value and plenty of years to be a Manchester United legend if things goes well. Anyway, the press conference is about to start very soon. I'm going to sort of check in what's going on at the studio there. Let me see. Guys, get involved with everything that's going on. And I'm going to just check where we are at the moment with this. No, it hasn't really started as of yet. They are still gathering their cavalry. I think we have Simon Stone. I can see Simon Stone sitting there. Who else? Melissa Reddy, potentially. Yeah, she be ready, sharpening the pencils anyway, guys. What else? Well, can I say that I'm excited over that the football finally started? Yes. It was interesting pre-season in US. There was really, really good performances. Can we replicate this in Premier League? I mean, we're only playing one game a week, and we should definitely be able to do that, peeps. We should definitely be able, because we have fresh legs. We have squad depth at the end of the day, and I just want to see us win the first couple of games, and that breeds confidence and oozes confidence in the way we can shape the remaining of the Premier League season. If we can win the first game against Arsenal, we go away, we win that one as well, and all of a sudden, boom, bash, the camaraderie and the team spirit is there. It's there. It's definitely there. So I can't really see the chat, but however, the press conference is about to start. I can see that coming right here, right now. I will remove this now. Anyway, I can see it's starting now, very much soon. Come on. Yep, it's all going off.
Ruben, happy new season. Easy question to start with. Team news out of the weekend. We didn't see Mazraoui or Lissandro the other day at training. How are they? Do you have any other concerns?
No news in Licha are out. They cannot play this game. Josh recover, Andre recover. They are option for this game. We'll see.
And first time we've got to speak to you since you've got Benjamin Sesko joining the club.
Sesko.
What do you feel about his signing, his potential, and this new front three you now have with Mbeumo and Cunha as well? How exciting is that?
First of all, we have more than three, so they are fighting for the places. I'm really happy. I think he has a great potential in everything he does. He can play different type of footballs. He's going to feel that Premier League is really aggressive. He's going to learn. but he has a great potential, and I can see Ben be has a great potential, and I can see Ben be a striker for Manchester United for longer years. That's why we pay so much money to have a striker that will have his history in our club.
Ruben, in terms of Benjamin, do you feel like he is able to start this game? Has he had enough time with you to understand?
Interesting question.
To work on his fitness to go from the start against Arsenal.
Of course, we need to have a lot of time, but he's ready. First of all, physically he's ready. That is a big component in our league. Then he's really smart. Every detail that he asks is a guy that is always thinking. He spent all afternoon here working on his fitness, so he's ready to play. We'll see if he's going to start.
So, Ruben, you said in
Simon
the
Stone.
States there were times last season when you set off for games and you feared what was going to happen. Do you, after this period of time, are you confident you know what your team is going to deliver?
No, it's hard to know because we cannot change everything in 4 weeks, but we are better. I know that we are training harder, we are training better, so I know that we are more prepared to cope with the demands of the game. We have new players that we need to understand in the real game what they are capable to do in the moment, but I'm really more confident. That is clear. I'm more confident in this moment, but again, we cannot change everything in 4 weeks. But we step by step we are going to be a better team. But of course, I'm more confident.
Mickey, hi Bruno. Have you set the team targets this season?
No, we want to return to Europe, but it's hard as a Manchester United coach to say one thing like that. But we need to be realistic with our fans. Even that we are going to have to fight a lot because there's a lot of good teams with more time than us together. But we are going to fight for it. We want to improve. We need to focus game by game. If we are thinking how we are going to finish the season is a problem. Let's focus on game by game. We want to win against Arsenal. That is the main focus.
Hi, Ruben. You obviously know Viktor Gyökeres very well from Sporting. Can you sort of tell us a bit more? You know, you said when you signed him, he hadn't even played in the Premier League. He goes on to score 97 goals in 102 games for Sporting. Did you see something there that other people hadn't seen? Did he develop quicker and better than you could have expected?
That is a question for Mikel, but Viktor is a different league. The physicality is different. In Sporting, they have a very good group of scouting because they live from the players that they can buy and then sell to survive. I think he's a very good player. He's going to give different characteristics. It's going to be different if we face in the beginning of the game Viktor or Havertz, for example. So we need to be prepared for that. But it's not a surprise to watch Viktor in the big club in England.
Laurie, then Samuel. Rasmus didn't get off the bench against Fiorentina. There's a potential that he might be sold this window. What's his situation, and is he still part of your plans for the selections?
It's here is one more option. We will see. We are focusing this game, and Rasmus is still our player.
Hi, Ruben. Just on the midfield situation, do you want some new midfielders to come in, and would you be confident of getting one in? Because it does look like you're quite light in that area.
Baleba.
I'm really happy with our players. They are working really well. We have different players for that position, so we are prepared to win any game with our players.
Are there any players who could potentially step into midfield who aren't seen as out-and-out midfielders?
No, maybe Mason Mount. I think is a player that can play in that position if we want something different. But then we are going to find out during the season. But we have players to cope and to win games in Premier League.
You said a couple of times last season that obviously Mikel's had a lot of time to mould his team and they're seeing the results now. That you've also said that perhaps you're not going to get the same amount of time because this is Manchester United. As you're starting the new season, how do you assess kind of your position? You've said that lots of players have got a clean slate. Do you feel that it's a clean slate for you as well, that all of last season can just be forgotten and you should be allowed to kind of have the time this season to kind of mould the team in the way you want?
I learned a lot last season. One of the things that I learned is that I don't need to focus a lot in the future. That doesn't matter. I don't care. I just want to win against Arsenal, to focus on Arsenal. And I need to live day by day, like my players, and focus in each game. So I learned that everything that gets a little bit noise to our team, I have to take out of the picture. So I just prepare to coach my team against Arsenal.
Is that a hard thing to do though at Man United?
No, of course, as a manager, you have to, with the board, you have to have a plan, a long plan. But nowadays, with the 3 interviews every week, we just need to focus on Arsenal. We want to win this game against a very good team, against a very good coach. Let's focus on that.
Richard, and then finish with Paul. Hi, Ruben. I just wanted to ask about Bruno Fernandes. How do the new arrivals benefit him? Or does it change? And you said over the tour that you wanted him to be close to the area, but obviously the new arrivals make it sound like he's probably going to play in the midfield too. But do you still want him to be advancing, like playing, or can he even play both roles? Or?
Even last season when he plays as a midfielder, it was like maybe the player that had more shots near the box. So I think it's a good thing also for Bruno to stay a little bit during trainings in one position. Then is winning a lot of things in your journey as a player. You lose some things, you win some things. I want Bruno near the ball. So that is really important for our team. But last year I felt like sometimes we need Bruno near the goal. We have now players with different characteristics that can cope with that. So we'll try to arrange game by game the best players in the best positions.
Ruben, could you just clarify something you said about Sesko earlier? You said that he'd been working or been doing sessions to get fit. Is that like an extra thing?
No. He does the same as the other players. What I'm saying is that he's one guy that stays here, have lunch, and then goes to the medical department, do the stretching. So the guy is always thinking about football. He's really obsessed about that. And that is a good thing because you don't have to think about that aspect with that young guy. I don't need to tell Ben, this is Manchester United, a lot of pressure, you have to perform, you need to be ready for the physicality, we need to be ready for every game is like do or die. With that guy, I have not that concern. I have the opposite. Enjoy a little bit.
You said earlier that he was asking you questions. Do you like that?
I really like that, especially when is smart questions. So he's listening and he wants to perform. So that is really good.
Hey. That was it, people. That was it. That was Bruno questions. There was Benji questions. There was a lot of questions, guys. Let me know your thoughts and feelings at the end of the day. I thought initially there was a good press conference. A lot of, key takeaways, but everyone was listening because the media was digging in regarding, is there any different? Have you given players a different, is a new challenge, new slay? And he said, no, it is the same principle. Nothing has really changed. He's reiterating to say every game, I want to win every game, and every game is a different game, and everyone needs to be together on the same page. So basically, the way I gather is that he kind of raised the intensity, he raised the standards within the players, and we saw that during the preseason as well. Another question that I really liked as well, which media was trying to cover up regarding, Rasmus Højlund, and say, typically as a manager, what can you say? Like, Rasmus is still a player. And also the media was asking, fishing around Baleba, is there any more signings that you think could bolster your midfield, come in? And he said, no, I'm happy with Mason Mount. Mason Mount can do multiple roles. And what is supposed to say? As a manager, you cannot tap up, you cannot speak about other players. And I think the media needs to learn at the same time. But regarding Arsenal, he was also asked about the question regarding Gyökeres, and he knows Gyökeres quite well, of course. What he's supposed to say, good luck to him, right? We will see you on Old Trafford, and we will see who's laughing last at the end of the day. Because it's well known that he actually called multiple times and spoke to Gyökeres to come to Manchester United, and it didn't happen. If Manchester United would have gone into Champions League, Gyökeres would be playing for Manchester United. But now we have the vice versa, which is quite ironically speaking, because now we have Benjamin Sesko on the other hand, which Arsenal initially was chasing, and then they went and pivoted for Gyökeres. So at the end of the day, he spoke also about Sesko as well, and he said, like, the final question, like, he's a quite intelligent player. He asks a lot of questions, which is a good questions, what he said. And that shows intelligence, footballing IQ, because you want to understand what is that the manager want from you. Like, he's willing to listen, and he's willing to learn and develop and just please the manager. Similarly, like Amad Diallo, did with, Ruben Amorim as well. Like, he was asking a lot of questions and he developed. But if you don't ask the right questions, you're never going to develop in certain ways, because at the end of the day, it's a team sport, but you also got to look after your own development and who is there to coach you, in my opinion. Big up everyone for Captain Bruno. Was also asked a question regarding Captain Bruno. He did 100% ask about Bruno, and he said, well, I prefer Bruno to sort of stay a little bit longer in one position rather than roam freely. This is the way I kind of understood. But he likes Bruno being closer to the ball and closer to the goals. But at the end of the day, we now brought in, Premier League proven players, goal scoring machines like Mbeumo, like Cunha, with Bruno playing a little bit deeper. That is a weapon, in my opinion, and Sesko on top. So Bruno doesn't really need to go forward. So it means, in my interpretation, he likes Bruno to play a little bit more deeper, to be the registrar, to be the one that disputes the ball, to ping the ball to Sesko, ping it wide to, lay it up to Cunha, lay it up to Mbeumo, which on the sprint like a gazelle on 6-pack of Red Bulls plus. If you know, you know. MCK in the house, what you're saying, Amorim confidence shows the seal in the team. Looks like he's prepared in knows to beat Arsenal. 100%. I mean, I agree with you. That's a really brilliant comment there, because he had a reflection over the summer, because he was very disappointed on what he was supposed to do. Like, this wasn't his players. And arguably to say that he's now been backed by the board. Like, the players that we signed in, they've been embedded. The players that didn't listen to him, they're out of the door. Like, they just basically froze them out to say, you're in the doghouse. You're never going to play for Manchester United again. We're talking about Rashford. Off you go to Barcelona. We're talking about Anthony still trying to get his loan deal to Real take a piss. If you know, you know. I'm just calling them Real take a piss, because that's what they're doing. Garnacho also, he said to Garnacho himself, pray to God that you find a club that wants you. And here we are, like 2 weeks left, and Chelsea's still trying to sort of squeeze Manchester United to lowball them for 35 million. No, I'd say that if we don't sell these players, at the end of the day, we just put them in the doghouse, like, and let them rot. It ain't matter. We still can pay. We can pay, but we will never budge down to the demands of selling our players again for cheap. If Chelsea can sell the players for, like, for double the price, what the hell? You know what I mean? Yale Malmin in the house. Big up to you. What you're saying, Yale. The sad thing is that we have won. The sad thing is, had we won the Europa League, we were never demoted back down to Europa League, because nice place in the Champions League, we would have Crystal Palace problem. Yeah, 100% Yole. I agree what you're saying. Echo what you're saying. But there is what I've been talking about, if you're following on my Twitter timeline, a paradigm shift in terms of the recruitment policy and strategy. In the beginning, Manchester United went absolutely in to go with the, we're going to find the next Mbappe's, kind of recruit young. And that was the original plan, until they saw the madness what Liverpool was doing, what City was doing, what Arsenal were doing. This is the most craziest window I've covered in many, many years, and probably the last kind of these windows. It's been absolutely fantastic to watch, especially in the Premier League, like, and the intricate drama that's been going with Gyökeres versus Sesko and Mbeumo negotiations. It's been absolutely fantastic, and Newcastle drama and stuff like that. So I don't think we will see such a transfer window for another decade, right? But this has been very, very, very potent, so the Premier League this year could be the most exciting Premier League that we've seen, most competitive in a way, because now everyone is kind of strengthening. Chelsea is Chelsea. They have a 50. They need 2 school buses for the team in a way. They have so many players, so I don't really know. Yeah, I'll watch out for Chelsea 100%. Liverpool, of course, they've been on spending spree. They've been splashing the cash. Obviously they didn't spend anything last season. So for me, I don't think that Liverpool, in a way, will be that favorite team that will challenge, in my opinion, because they bought in too many players, similar to what Chelsea did. So these players need to sort of embed, right? Florian Wirtz, of course, Etiquette, Milos Gyökeres, you name it. And they're now rubbing their hands waiting for Alexander Isak. So they've been quite a little bit dirty, those little scousers, if you know, you know. Like they tapped up Alexander Isak. And, widely what I understood as well, that, he had a Zoom call with the slot, like 1 hour and a half Zoom call, and his head is turned. And lo and behold, I also said about Newcastle, because the problem with Newcastle is that they lacked a direction, because they fired Paul Mitchell in May. The acting CEO, actually this CEO is stepping down because he's got some blood cancer, terminal blood cancer. So the actually recruitment strategy of Newcastle has been shambolic, like it hasn't been there. And they tried to sort of, Isak and his agent tried to sort of get a higher wages and to extend the contract, but Newcastle said no, and he felt a little bit betrayed because he had a gentleman's agreement that he could do so. So no wonder he's pissed off. But the way he's acting now, like, I will never play for Newcastle again. Think twice, Isak. I don't like those kind of behaviors. Like, if you look at our recruitment, we never had this transfer window to say any player that's forcing a move. I don't like that in a way. Like, I don't really. If a player is forcing a move and acting like a child, just imagine how the player is going to be in the dressing room, So anyway, we're here to speak about Man United. So I think that it's going to be very interesting against Arsenal. Wow, I'm going to be so gassed up. Like, I'm having a bet with my mate. My best mate is an Arsenal supporter. So look, at the end of the day, we're going to cover the lineup, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? saying this, Mickey here. Yeah, I also have as initials as well. Should we pivot to accessible midfielders with the same profile as Belieber? I'm thinking Tchouaméni available for at 80 million. To be honest, to be real, as a realist, we are not the one that are setting the recruitment strategy. Like, if Ruben Amorim wants, if the club has identified that this is the player, then I back him, right? But I can sort of understand that, for 80 million, 100 million, you can get 3 midfielders, like, 3 good midfielders. Hayden Hackney, potentially go for Wharton, and that's 2 midfielders for the price of 100 million. But I don't think it's going to be 100 million, because I got the finger on the pulse. At the end of the day, like, as a yardstick in terms of these negotiations, what I understood is what Brighton does, it's a barbershop. Like, Paul Barber runs the show. Welcome to my barbershop. How do you want it? Okay, it's going to cost you this much. Shit. Okay, do you want some wax with it? No, not really. Listen, it is quite simple. They just slap a price. Simple, overinflated valuation. This is Brighton. This is what they do best. They bought Carlos Beleba in for what? 6 million. Peanuts. They bought in Casado for 7 million. Peanuts. McAllister, 7. Peanuts. And they sling him off for 100. So what did we learn from this? That Brighton is a feeding club. And they will sell to all costs at the end of the day. Behind the scenes, they're already looking for replacement. But when I say barbershop, it is a barbershop, because Manchester United will either come out with a slightly trimmed beard, or they will be clean shaved to the baby face skin. If you know what I'm talking about. So interesting days ahead. I think that we will end up in the middle. As a yardstick, as a benchmark, you can look at the Chelsea situation with João Pedro. The asking price from Brighton was 90 million. He ended up being 60 million total package, 55 plus 5. So there's always room for improvement. And of course, we have hardcore negotiation in terms of chief negotiator Matt Hargreaves that's done a fantastic job so far. So I'd be surprised if we don't walk away with Belieber this summer at all, because to wait for next season, it's going to be 130, 140 They're going to increase the price. They're going to slap him a contract extension, give him a little bit of pay rise. But the player's head has already been turned. He only wants Manchester United. His agent is lowering down his agency fee to facilitate it. So the next coming days is going to be very, very hardcore negotiations. And who will be the winner? Who blinks first? It's like playing Texas Hold'em. Manchester United simply has been holding talks of the past couple of days. We're talking about Wilcox, of course. We don't want to sort of just come in and throw in a bid. You know, we want to sort of understand the way my feeling is behind the scenes is that we want to understand if we throw in a bid, that will be a first and final bid, right? We want to come as close shave as possible, so we come out handsomely, right? And they want to be rewarded as well. So, and of course, in the press conference, media was kind of masking the question. And Ruben, he said, "No, I'm happy with the midfield." Nah, bullshit, he's lying. I got Mason Mount. Yeah, right. And also Rasmus Højlund, guys. Anyway, guys, let me know what you're thinking. We can go back for Belieber, what MM is saying, if Bruno next year. No, this is what I'm trying to explain. Like, you know, next year will be a totally different price. Of course, the groundwork might have been established, but next year you will have more competition. The way Manchester United is looking at it right now, there's no competition. There is a free hit for one of the most sought out, up-and-coming, potentially world-beating midfielders. I mean, God, this guy is good. I mean, he's more than good. He's fantastic for 21. So I wouldn't walk away at all. Like, and I will go in, okay, I assess the situation. There's no competition. Let's dance. Let's do this. Pay up. We go all in. That's it. Because next year, you snooze, you lose, the famous term. Rama, big up what you say now. Chouameni is madly overrated. Belieber is what we need. Yeah. Imagine if we do sign Belieber. Imagine, just imagine. Imagine the fan song. Like, you know that song, I'm a believer when I see your face. Dun, 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 dun. I'm a believer when you score a brace. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's a belieber. Belieber. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. It's Friday after all. Thank you for tuning in for the press conference. Before we go, guys, this is my predicted starting 11, guys. I want to hear from you as well. What is your predicted starting 11? I gone with the strongest 11. I certainly believe that Onana will not start. He's just back in training. So it's between choosing a rock and hard place. I gone with Bayanda. My experience says go with Heaton, but I think Bayanda will start. Guys, let me zoom in. I gone with following Aiden Heaven, De Ligt, and Lenny Yoro. Amad Diallo, Ugarte, Bruno, and Dogo. Up front, I certainly believe that Sesko will start. There is no smoke without fire. Ruben was trying to sort of cover this up, but it looks like Benji jumping is ready. He's been doing extra practice. And the reason why I call him Benji jumping, have you seen this dude jump? This guy plays basketballs as well. Like, guy can jump. They say white man can jump, but this guy can really, really jump. So that's why I call him now Benji Jump. So he's practicing Benji Jump. And I think that would be Cunha together with Buemo. This is my starting 11. This is my predicted strongest 11. I want to hear from you. If you're watching in retrospective, do you agree with that starting 11? Do you think that is a strongest 11? Or is there anything else that you will see, potentially Casemiro instead of Ugarte? We need legs against Arsenal. They got Zubamendi. We need to be competitive. However, it's going to be Gyökeres versus Sesko, and that's going to be fantastic. Guys, as per se, I would like Benjamin Sesko to do his debut and score a brace. I mean, launch that rocket outside the 6-yard box. Just bury it in the left-hand corner and do this celebration to mock Gyökeres and everyone else. Screw you, Arsenal, for screwing me over. But at the end of the day, I am a Manchester United player. And my boyhood fan is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Guys, this is about it. You know, Family, do not forget to like and subscribe. It is me covering the press conference. If you missed it live, we're the only channel that covers this live. Go and check it out, guys. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And we shall see you to the match day on Sunday. This is the big one. Come on, United. I'm excited. This is my starting 11. And do I dare even to do the score prediction? Do I dare? Okay, Seskomania, Seskominovic. All right, so knock on wood. Mick Ruby, usually go with Ruby Classic 3-1 to United. I think this is Premier League nerves, but however, we're playing at Old Trafford. We have new fresh blood in. I think we're going for the guillotine choke. We're going for the tap. I would say that it will be a 2-1 to Manchester United. But it smells a little bit of a draw here. It smells like a 1-1 draw. But what is your score prediction? Let me know. Yes, let me know. I'm still waiting. What will be your score prediction? Waiting. Going once. 2-1. What you're saying to Manchester United? MM says 2-1. Well, we should see. I believe in footballing gods, and I'm not going to jinx it. But victorious, we have to believe. We have to believe like believer. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Do not forget to do me a massive favor as we are on the road to 50,000. 2-1 to Manchester United. This is Ruby's prediction, and this is my lineup, guys. Let me know what your lineup is. Thank you for watching. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Come on, United, you beauty. Let's go. Get it. Get me believer as well.